welcome back to another episode of Behind the Apps Mobile Marketing Talks, a series brought to you by Avow that takes you behind the scenes of the marketing world with the brightest minds in mobile. I'm Cindy, your host this season. Have you ever found yourself opening a trading app during your lunch break, or maybe checking your portfolio before your morning coffee? Well, you're part of a growing wave that's completely redefined what investing looks like. More people nowadays are trading stocks, crypto, and Forex from their phones and laptops. And honestly, the competition to reach them is quite fierce. So today we're pulling back the curtain on how the best ones do it. I'm joined today by Maria, head of media channel at Libertex Group, a global trading platform making that whole world more accessible to everyday people like you and I. And we're going to dig into exactly how they think about growth, channels, and user quality. So let's get started and explore what lies behind the apps. Hi, Maria. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. So you're the head of media channel Libertex Group. And so for those, living under a rock, can you give us maybe like a 30-second elevator pitch on Libertex Group and what your specific, let's say, mission is there?
Sure, Libertex is a global trading platform. We are giving the opportunity for the people trade different assets like Forex, crypto, stocks. For many people, trading is interesting way to invest their money. You don't need to be professional. You can start small and step by step. And my role here is growth our user base, bringing new users, testing new channels, and making sure we attract a real and right customer.
That's exciting. I'm sure a lot of people who are listening to this is very excited as well. Probably going to go download the app right now. And so you operate in LATAM, CIS, and other countries. Now, what are the biggest challenges in, let's say, managing user acquisition across such massive, diverse geographic footprints?
I think the biggest challenge is the work in the financial space, especially right now, is a tricky area. We need to find right balance between performance, responsibility, regulators, and to be very careful with how we communicate with our potential customers, users, and etc. Also, the global financial and political situation is not easy now. So it's important for us to not just sell the product, but to build trust and support to our users. And of course, every market are different. So we always need to adapt our approaches to every region and location.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And so then let's say trading, as a general, trading can feel quite overwhelming and quite intimidating as well to the average person. So does the gap between how traders and regular people see markets kind of shape how you approach UA and messaging?
Yes, absolutely. For many people, trading feels scary. So our job here to make it simple and clear. We give people information and tools so they can make their own decisions. And we try to be transparent with them. We speak in a simple way with them and try to focus on a real life situation. But at the same time, we can also talk with professional traders on professional slang and language and speak on their language.
So since you're in a highly, regulated space, how do you keep UA performing when every ad has to pass legal? Does this kill the creativity? Does it force it? How does that work?
Regulation doesn't kill creativity, but it changes it. We can't promise easy money to our customers or use aggressive messaging. So we focus more on the trust, on education and transparency for sure. In a way, it makes our marketing stronger and more could be honest.
Now going into the honest vibe, going into the strong trust vibe, let's talk then more on the quality control, right? So in trading, an install is just the beginning, but then how do you actually filter out low quality traffic, as many people try to do, to find the actual long-term traders?
For us, install is just first step. We focus on the full funnel. We evaluate quality based on registration, first deposit, and for sure long-term user activity. Fraud is also a big part of process. So we work closely with MMP, database, internal analytics team, and filter is out. In the end, the goal is simple, not just to get users, but to get users who are actually a real trader.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the goal, isn't it? But that's great to hear. In terms of Libertex Group, so the app is live in, I think it's 120 countries.
120.
Not bad. And so what is one market that completely, let's say, surprised you in terms of how users interact with a trading app?
One market, what really surprised me is CIS. Users, they are financially aware. They understand how to manage money and think more long term. They usually don't put everything in one place. For example, bank deposits. They diversity, compare option, and make more calculated decision. So it's not about emotional decision, but more about logic, understanding risks. Maybe it's the post-Soviet Union mindset and background, because it's been not easy period of time for CIS countries, but hard to say.
Yeah. I always find this interesting, you know, when you're in so many different markets, and yeah, some of them really stand out in terms of how they think, their logic, how they have no emotional, ties to it, but very, very straightforward, and yeah, just understanding the risk. So it's always nice to hear how different companies and apps really understand their market. So that's great to share. So now, what are the current priorities or focus at Libertex Group?
Right now, our main focus is diversification. We are trying to new channels, not only classical like Meta and Google. We also focus a lot on creative testing and improving conversion, and of course balancing growth and quality.
And then, so what are some trends or shift in the industry where you think marketers should really be paying attention to?
I think more marketers should focus on the traffic quality, not just volume. It's easy to scale installs, views, CTV campaigns, awareness campaigns, etc., but much harder to scale real user and use these awareness campaigns to performance campaigns. That's why quality is becoming more important than ever. We always need to stay focused on the users, especially than before. But at the same time, it's important to work closely with AI. The future is already here, and we need to move faster as we can. I believe the brandformers approach, combining brand and performance, is about building long-term trust and value.
I like that brand formance, you said, right? Brand and
Yeah,
performance.
yeah, it's a new era of performance and
Is
branding.
I think that's the first time I've heard it, but it makes complete sense. But speaking of AI, of course, the hot topic, everyone's talking about AI.
Sure.
AI is everywhere. So in terms of performance marketing world, like how have you found AI to be particularly, let's say, helpful?
AI is important in our daily work. We use it a lot for generating and testing hypotheses, creative ideas and variations, analytics and data support. We also use AI for creative localization. It helps us to adapt content much faster than different markets without full reproduction. In today's world, if you're not using AI, unfortunately, you're already behind by weeks or months, maybe years. But time is one of the most important resources, and AI is a great tool. It can replace a lot of junior level works, but without the right direction, without clear prompts, it can give very strange results, you know? So for me, it's about balance. AI for speed and information, and human for strategy and final decision.
Well said at the end. I completely agree. I think it's a balance with
Sure.
AI. Everyone's kind of just excited and they're taking over and all this stuff. There's a lot of fear, but I think it's a balance of how you use it and the way you said it, like AI for speed and information, and then human for strategy to kind of make the final decision. So I couldn't agree more with what you just said. Now, fintech is one of those categories where the usual playbook doesn't always cut it, let's be honest. So let's talk about channels. A lot of UA teams stick to what's familiar, which is understandable. But what made Libertex Group, start looking beyond the usual platforms?
We see that many traditional approaches are not working as well as before. Some platforms are becoming harder to operate, policies stay more stricted, and algorithms are changing. It makes some performance less predictable, could be. That's why diversification is no longer option. Is necessary now. We need to constantly test new channels and find alternative sources of traffic to stay competitive and reduce risk.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then how has working with Avow shaped your thinking about channels kind of beyond the traditional app stores?
Above is OEM traffic, and OEM give access to user at a very early stage directly on device. It means less competition compared to traditional platforms, more stable performance, and often better cost efficiency. It also helps us to diversity risk, especially when large platform become unstable. Now, another advantage is that OEM traffic is less dependent on algorithm changes, which makes planning and scaling more predictable. Overall, it's not a replacement the traditional channels like Google, Meta, and etc., but this is a strong addition to balance acquisition strategy.
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely makes sense. But I think that's essentially a wrap on a lot of the hard questions, let's say. But, we're coming to an end with our chat, and we like to close it with a rapid fire round. So quick questions, no overthinking, just go with your gut. And are you ready?
I'm ready, as always.
So the first one, what is the very first app you check when you wake up and the very last app you check before you go to sleep?
It's a good question. In the morning, I usually check the news and try to look for trends. For example, in Telegram chat and in other one platforms. My routine is not especially like Silicon Valley success story. It's more about real.
Love that. Okay, second, three things that make someone a great performance marketer, and a UA manager.
It's a nice question as well. First of all, I think it's curiosity. Second one is ability to protect your own opinion and your point of view, and analytical mindset, because marketing is around 80% about numbers and only 12-20% about creativity.
Nice, fair. I like that. It's a good balance. What app have you deleted and reinstalled the most times? And be honest, be honest.
Well, if to be honest, is far-fetched. I've deleted many times because I spent too much too nice clothes.
Okay, at least you're honest about it. And now going back to AI, because everyone has, AI on their mind. This definitely had to be a question.
This is our new reality for sure.
It is. These two letters. AI changes fast, as AI loves to remind us. But if you're forced to pick just one today and stick with it, what would it be? ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or something else?
I use different AI tools for different tasks. For research, for example, I use Perplexity. For thinking and problem solving, ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, Kimi. For creative task, Gemini, Claude works really well. For presentation, Claude and Kimi. I'm big fan of Kimi because it gives a strong answer and doesn't judge, just agree. It can ask you and change your point for some question. I think honesty in AI is important things. Also, I like to compare them. For example, GPT and Perplexity looking for information, and Claude acts like a judge. It helps to decide what makes more sense. I use them together and get a better result.
Well done.
I believe in it.
Yeah, like you optimize them in different ways. And I've also heard this from different people where they're using it for specific tasks. So well said. And then if Libertex Group had a theme song, what would it be?
It's interesting and not easy question. I need more time, but the first song, what I remind, I suppose it could be I Believe in Love Again, Peggy Goo and Lenny Kravitz. I don't know why.
I believe in trading again.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then last question, what's your number one piece of advice for an app marketer who's struggling to scale right now?
Test more and focus on quality, not just scale, and check fraud.
Of course, always. Amazing. Is there anything else you wanted to plug, at the end?
Maybe it should be just keep learning and adapting. Things changing very fast right now, and we should be faster as we can.
Amazing. Thank you, Maria, for joining us. This was really fun. I've learned a lot.
For me as well.
Yeah, it makes me want to go get on my trading app as well. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. I'll send you our promo code.
Amazing. I'm on it soon. And so for more insights and expertise on mobile user acquisition and app growth, visit avow.tech, the mobile OEM advertising specialist. I'm Cindy Oran, and until next time, keep on exploring what lies behind the apps. Woo!